Hello everyone, this is Greyshot 17 here to bring you another Company of Heroes 2 commentary. This time, it's on Lanversah Ambush. I am once again on the Allied side, playing as the Americans. I will be playing with my allies Rocket, a name I cannot pronounce. I am sorry if you can read that, but I cannot. So, I'm going to say my Asian ally and Korkum. And on the enemy team, we have 3 Airborne Commander West players and 1 Vermont, and I will say their name shortly. They are, nope, let me go to myself. There we go. There's Judah, 7 Donkey Lips, and 28 Beers Later. I'll admit that's actually a pretty good name, or at least a funny name. Cockrum, you can see their colors there, but Cockrum's light blue, Rocket's yellow, and my Asian ally is green. So if we go over to myself, unfortunately, at the time of recording this, it was like an hour earlier that they got rid of the rifle command. I really wanted to use that to try out the Easy 8s more effectively, but unfortunately for me, it wasn't the case, so I just went Airborne. Because last time I did Airborne was with Redman, I believe it was the commentary, and it wasn't the best. I mainly focused on actually American infantry tactics, and not specifically the commander tree for the Airborne division of the American Allies. So pretty much what I'm gonna do is I'll show that off and actually show its effectiveness. Anyway, as you can see here, I'm pushing riflemen, trying to capture these front areas as fast as I can. My Asian ally is, again, I do apologize. Let's go for a better name. How about my Oriental ally? Because even though it could be Asian, he could still just be he could be an American person that doesn't speak a lot of English. So I'm just gonna say my you know what, just to actually not I'm sorry, this really drives me, so I'm sorry. Just to not like pickpocket, I'll just say my foreign ally. That way it covers I guess his native tongue, whatever it may be. It doesn't specifically single out a specific nation or group. But anyway, my foreign ally is moving up. He's actually bringing up his MGs, which is going to be really helpful. Again, he's the Russian. Let's see. Again, I want. Oh, there we go. Rocket went Rifle Company. He probably has it unlocked. I still don't. Shock Rifle, very good with the IS-2. So we combine arms, great for airstrikes and howitzer. Airborne, of course, when I have, great for bringing in paratroopers. But anyway, I bring up these guys, so what I'm going to do is I can activate this volley fire, which is going to start pinning them. And I tell my riflemen to fire long range at these Pioneer squads. I also have a Pioneer squad over here firing, so I have 2 Pioneer squads lighting them up. So yeah, this is really weird. I guess Joda thought it'd be a great idea to attack with a bunch of Pioneer squads. Problem is, Pioneer squads are not exactly the best at don't get me wrong, with the boost, they did get a boost, but they're not exactly the best with their rifles. They're good short range, not long range, so my rifles are going to easily take them out even though they're in heavy cover. It just takes a little more. But as we can see here, they got shot up and killed. I don't know who's he's calling for, but yeah. Problem for me, he has to run all the way around. I don't think he's gonna make it across. Is he gonna make it across? Nope, he does not. We go over here, I'm pushing up to try to take this area. He does have this MG, so he was bringing that up. The problem is he set it up a little bit incorrectly. And what do I mean by that? Well, he has this squad down, which is great for him. But unfortunately, I have my other rifleman squad coming in the flank, and again, flanking is key in this game. So I put them behind this yellow cover, that way they can station their shot, and I start firing upon that MG, and with does some nice shots, shoots them, and makes them retreat, and I'm able to push them pretty far forward, actually, and able to capture this munitions point, which is always helpful. The problem is my allies aren't exactly doing the best. Because of the Stern Pioneers and the MGs, I believe, let's see. We'll look at him, yeah. Oh, okay, now he's bringing up mortars. Oh, elite armor. Huh. But yeah, wait a second, how's it? Oh, wait, nope. That doesn't make sense. Because how does he have an MG if he's blue? Hold on. That is an MG34. How do you get an MG34? Yeah, that's weird. Maybe he stole it. Anyway, I'm moving up my forces, trying to help them push back because they have a lot of these Stern Pioneers and Volksgrenadiers pushing up. This thing is the bar, which is very effective. It should hold them back at least, or at least help hold them back. And take out quite a few infantry as well. I'm also pushing up my riflemen again. What I'm trying to do here is, because I know that pretty much they have this huge frontal assault. They have nothing pretty much guarding behind them, so I'm capturing these areas and I'm just slowly pushing in. They also have this support gun. I'm like, why can't I take it out? So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna move up and try to take out the support gun. And it's gonna do some damage. It's not gonna kill it, but it'll at least make it run for its life, which is exactly what I want. And also, I see all these infantry running beside me. I'm like, oh, that's cool. They're in full retreat. Well, you know, they'll eventually get back to base shortly, so I have to watch out for that. Now, he's doing a lot of reinforcements. Again, he has a lot of these mortars trying to blow up my front line. Luckily, my Russian ally, sorry, my Russian ally is filling up these MGs. So my foreign ally, or pretty much him, is, I like how the name here is just unpronounceable. It's just bar. But anyway, I put up these MG placements. I didn't know about his mortars until when I was building them, but I figured why not? Just that way I have a secondary MG line in case green has to go somewhere else. Yeah, I'll just say green. Why not? Anyway, so pretty much I'm helping push and try to push back over here. My rifleman was able to take all the way to this point, which is great because it gets us some extra fuel and munitions. Also, just as another spot where, hey, they cannot capture and put down units. So they then try to push up, which I felt was really weird, because again, they're trying to push up and take these areas, but we just have so much MG fire and stuff like that. They're not even getting close. And it's funny because he has MG like, ha ha ha, I'm gonna defend in case they attack us. I'm like, fine, I'm not gonna come through that way. Besides, I wouldn't come through this way. I'd most likely come through this way, or this back secret trail, which again, the reason why I put it here is in case, oh, we're gonna come down here, sneak behind our ally, the enemy. My MG will detect them and start shooting them immediately. Now, unfortunately, I lost a lot of riflemen, and as you can see here, the enemy is actually pushing in, and they're doing something unique where, let's see, who is this? This is Savensk. He has, yeah, he's actually placing down this one. He's placing down the last one. So he's trying to get the lighter armor out, which is an effective strategy if you can get it out. But anyway, I have my M20 scout car, which does have a bazooka team inside, which I'll use that a little later. Very effective. But anyway, I'm moving up my troops to help with pretty much my ally here. Hold him back. Unfortunately, I got a bazooka shot, but luckily if I keep that thing pinned, now this thing owns, because yeah, bullets hurt it, but not as much. So now we can just use long-range fire to take out a lot of their forces. And with this 50 cal, yeah, that MG is not going to stand a chance. And it's funny because, again, this is teamwork. You're using all three angles and taking them out. Yeah, unfortunately, red is actually hurting it. Look how many Volksgrenadiers this guy has. He's spamming infantry. Luckily, though, we have shock troops. And guess what? Shock troops if they can be used effectively. And, yeah, they just murdered those Stern Pioneers. Now they're owning those Volksgrenadiers. Now they're running for their life and, like, linking up to try to take these guys out. Now, what I did was, I saw they had a lot of forces coming in, so what I did was I brought in my paratroopers, and I'm going to upgrade them with Thompsons and move them up to try to take out these mortar squads. Because I figure, why not? I'll at least do something and try to hold them back. I also have my scout car here. I'm going to try to repair it and move up. And I use my lieutenant over here to cap. I'm also going to try to get a, I think I'm going to get a bazooka guy very shortly. But anyway, as you can see here, I set my bazooka. The problem with this MG placement, he has a Greyshot if, long range over here. I just walk back his MG because he couldn't turn it in time. But anyway, I'm moving up and trying to push in. I do have grenades. I did research that, by the way, so now I'm going to try to use that against the enemy. And as you can see here, sure, they have quite a few forces, but and they actually have bunkers up for, medical stations. That way they can instantly heal, which is good for them. Problem is, I'm making them retreat. Their mortar team, not the best. And now I have Thompsons, which is gonna own these Pioneer squads, and also gonna own these squads. Yeah, so the Pioneer squad died. Hurt their mortar squad. Made a retreat. And now I'm moving up these. Now here's the thing though, as we can see here, they have a ton of they have like a light armor support coming in. Luckily green, my ally, foreign ally, is bringing up this like long range rifle, these AT rifles. But I'm moving up my guys here to come up pretty close and just start owning their Pioneers and do some damage. I'm also trying to do here, and this was risky, I knew it would be risky, but I figured I'd try it, was I knew these had this guy had a bazooka team, and I figured this was very close to dying, so I figured I would try to fire a bazooka at it. It does a slight hit, not much. They have 3 stars, I'm going to retreat them, but they're going to sacrifice and try to take this. I did set up mines here, I guess they blew up from something else, but anyway, yeah, they stole my M20 scout car, which is going to bite me later. But as you can see here, they're pushing up with light tanks, and that's actually pretty effective because unless you have bazookas or something really effective researched, it's not going to really do much. Luckily, our Russian ally has AT rifles, and he also has T-34s. So, yeah, that kind of counters this. If you have T-34, pretty much destroying it. But as you can see here, these guys, I'm going to guess they're allied, or like they're part of like a big clan or something, because they were acting pretty much helping each other. Yeah, and they kept making jokes against the enemy, or against our guys. They're like, "Oh, you suck," or something like that. Like, "Thanks for the MG." They got really annoying. Yeah, that does happen. Why do you retreat around the building? Just go from the side. Anyway.
A capture point is being overrun.
So I move up my forward HQ. I'm gonna bring up my major, and he brought up a T-34, which is great because they don't have that much AT. But anyway, I'm gonna put up my major up here. That way, I have an instant respawn point. And again, my MGs will keep them back in case they have large amount of infantry coming. But the T-34 is moving up, and they have no AT whatsoever. So the T-34 is just gonna own them. And I'm gonna send up my infantry to help push as soon as I can. We look over here, they have a ton of, again, the light vehicles coming around, and they're trying to take out their forces, and again, these light tanks do actually a good amount of damage against infantry. The problem is they can't really take that much damage against, like, bazookas and other things, but again, green guy is kind of worried about this Panzer, not about that. However, I do have my bazooka team. I do have these guys come in the flank, which, again, now they have Thompson, so now they're just going to completely own this poor guy. And now he's going to pull his Panzer back, which shows the rear armor. Now I had a choice here. I thought where these guys throw a planned detonation charge. I want to do. I don't possibly kill the T4, not kill the Panzer, because the T-34 is actually doing pretty well. And that encounter, but unfortunately, the focus grenadiers did not help it. What is that? Oh, I guess I'm just ran a piece of intelligence down. Yeah, but they were pushing pretty hard on all of our flanks. Luckily, I had a bazooka team right here holding it back. I am also up a Jackson, and I will be in it. Yeah, I will be doing very good. Oh, there's my scout car. This is where it's gonna bite me. I am actually on capture this point, which is funny. But I believe it's gonna kill this. Yep, it does.
We lost an infantry unit.
Which kind of sucks. because it kills that unit, which they were really good paratroopers. That was a really good paratrooper squad. But again, I have some extra reinforcements coming in. Not only do I have my Jackson coming in, which is great AT, which will easily one shot, maybe two if they're lucky, those vehicles. But I also brought in this nice AT, and this is where again the paradrop comes in, because they just paradropped in. It's like, hey, free units, and then I can use my ambulance here to heal it back up and heal both squads. I also have this bazooka team here just in case they come with vehicles. I flank them, and they're a nice cover. So that way we can retake this point. I'm also going to start putting down some fuel like I did in these two areas, you know, try to help my team out, get some more fuel, get the bigger tanks, and try to push back the enemy. Because the enemy here has a lot of, maybe not tanks, but just better units, because you need fuel to pretty much upgrade, you know, with the lieutenant, the captain, the major, but they have a lot of AT forces, so maybe not necessarily a tank, but maybe a better tank, but maybe just better troops. Well, luckily he brings in his light tank, which kind of sucks, because he's bringing in the T-34, and this guy brings in the T-34, which is just going to surround it, you know, and look at the little thing, it's so cute, the two T-34s. As you can see here, Orange is not having that. He's moving up his little light mechanized force. However, unfortunately for him... Oh, yeah, they brought up a Panzer. I killed it. I tried to retreat this. It went around this, which took extra time. Bazooka shot it. I was so mad. But luckily, you have an AT force right here, which is going to move up to try to take this out. I'm going to try to retreat this. And I had this here to help with the Panzer, which died. Which, again, it died in 1 or 2 hits, which is great. My rifles are just taking them out, and the MG right here is keeping them pinned. Luckily, the T-34 came up and just made a retreat, so that's a positive. Yeah. My ally Rocket is pretty much pushing them back. It's fantastic. I think, yeah, that's just normal Sherman, but yeah, he's taking out that medical bunker, which is fantastic. Again, now we have a solid front line. Now we have a lot more forces. Now we're able to push them back pretty well. But again, last game, I believe, with the Americans, I did the same thing, but we lost. So, you know, don't count the Germans out just yet. Right now, they're actually bringing up a lot of support, these mortars, which are getting really annoying. I tried to move up to try to take them out, but, yeah, not exactly the best, not exactly the best plan. And as you can see here, they actually did quite a bit of damage here. And I'm trying to move them up here to try to do some damage, but, yeah, they just have a lot of mortars, AT, MGs, which are now placed in actually a better position now. And the double mortar just absolutely destroyed it. Yeah, so now I have to think of something to take those out. Now, and also as you can see here, he has a Panzer, which is not exactly the best thing for me, because, remember last game, the Panther, and how easily it took me out? Well, you know, kind of want to make sure that I can take that out effectively with my Jackson, and not repeat the same mistake I did again. But anyway, as you can see here, my ally is pushing up with T-34s. He's trying to flank the enemy, which has a lot of forces here. Problem is, the enemy has a lot of Panzerschrecks, so he can't really do that much. And as you know, Panzerschrecks are good AT against a lot of T-34, especially because they have the weaker armor. Now, he has T-34s, but again, that's a Panther. He has like a combined army assault, which, like, this thing is huge. And he's moving in his forces. Now, I'm going to move on my ET, and I have a position here, so if he comes around that corner, I'll start firing. I have my riflemen here, bazooka teams here. I have these guys saying another MG here, that way it guards it, and I'm moving some guys in, you know, help capture these points. Now, as we can see, my allies coming in. I'm trying to take them out. Panther, however, is not really, you know, I'm really losing a lot of points. Or, sorry, not taking many hits. Again, dishing out a lot of hits, but against all this armor, it's the strongest one, and I've seen the Panther just pretty much ignore like 3 T-34s and firing upon it. Now, here's the thing, they did that Pioneer Squad, the flamethrower, and I just threw a grenade and blew them all up. That's the thing about grenades you have to worry about in this game. Like, I've seen a grenade not do anything to a squad, and then I've seen a grenade just own a squad. So it just depends. Now, I brought up a paratrooper squad. My idea was to drop it over here and try to take out this guy's, specifically the, mortar team. So anyway, I have my Jackson back, so I have a Jackson on my left flank. I have these guys trying to do something. I think I'm gonna throw a grenade, or at least try to decap it. But luckily, I'm not able to do that much. He does this awesome flame barrage, which is killing the infantry, the mortar, the bunker, the MG, and the AT, which is great for me because that just kind of messes up. Oh, that MG is gonna. That's right. Oh wow, so lucky. Yeah, he's getting ever closer, which is not good for me. And as you can see here, that Panther is putting on pressure. It's not taking any damage from those T-34s, but it's still putting on pressure and slowly pushing back. Now that's just a normal Sherman. It can have some better shots, but again, it's not exactly the best bursting Panther. I mean, they do have a lot of tanks though. However, they have another Panther, and a Panzer. What kind of tank is that? That's a Panzer. And more Panzer Force. So now they're trying to flank, try to take out this support gun. But as you can see here, they have a ton of armor moving up. So yeah, that's not a good sign. So so because I see this, I'm gonna call in a strike very shortly. Let me try to help them out. Now the great thing about the, I guess the Airborne division, oh, they did a flame barrage to help stop them from capturing that. It's not gonna work because as you see here, they still capture it. But as you see here, they're pushing down with heavy armor, and he has his howitzer, which is great. I'm calling it my plane, which calls in this awesome strike. Destroys that Panther, and with the Panther gone, well, they just have two Panzers, and guess what? Panzers are weak against, most other tanks. So these T-34s coming up from behind, pretty much gonna help tear the Kingdom Come. Also, my plane is circling overhead and will pretty much strafe anything it possibly can. So yeah, that was amazing. And I believe he's going to steal that free Panzer. Yeah, he is. Which is fantastic. And now we're slowly pushing them back. Yeah, they still have infantry. These ogres are great long-range troops. But again, not exactly great against AT. No, I'm sorry, no, tanks. He also has an Oswald here. Shoda, which I guess he thought it would be great against infantry. And to be fair, he was right, because I kind of moved my Jackson over to help, and that died. So right now I don't really that major AT. The only major AT I have is this one, but you know, still not exactly the best. Did something just crash over here? Nope, but my Jackson is coming in. So they have Jackson and a Panzer. Trying to going through my line, see if there's a weak spot. Two T-34s are actually hammering Savinsky's unit over here, which if he can take it out, it's actually render him unable to bring up the. Ooh, good strike. And Savinsky dropped. I wonder why. But that Panzer came up from behind. Did some great shots at the T-34s. Unfortunately for him, the Oswald's coming up and like, I'm gonna own you guys. First off, AT. Second off, Jackson. Third of all, two T-34s. Fourth of all, you're dead. Oh, fifth, my bazooka team. Oh lord. Dude, that's probably the longest jump I've ever seen a unit go. Look at that guy. He was, this guy right here, who no longer has any, oh wait, no, he does. Just behind him. Jumped from here over a tree in here. That's pretty awesome. Only company fears.
We lost an infantry unit. They got wiped out.
So anyway, I'm moving my Jackson to help. My hopeful goal is try to shoot some of these units. Because even though I can't see them, if I have a Jackson here, that will easily help one-shot the Panzers and the, yeah, pretty much both Panzers, the light tank and the medium tank. The two T-34s are still doing some great damage. As you can see here, they are placing mines all over the place, so that way it makes it harder. Now I think he sees that, and that's why he's firing on the ground, which is funny because he fires at that one, but he's going to run over that mine, and I believe that tank is, nope.
We just lost a medium tank.
Wow, I just lost another medium tank. Dude, I've made 3 Jacksons so far. They've all died, but they've all done massive damage. Luckily, my AT gun here is actually doing quite a bit. I believe one more hit's gonna... Yep, there it goes. And now I'm gonna bring up this mortar carriage.
We've lost a fighting position. Enemies are swarming one of
My
our
goal was,
emplacements.
the thing about the mortar carriage, it doesn't really have a short range ability, so we can't really fight infantry. I tried to retreat these guys, but, you know, that's not gonna work. I did retreat my own guys for instant repair. As you can see here, they are moving at a ton of forces, including a Panther, which is just pushing my forces back, rendering me incapable of really mounting any kind of suitable offensive. And as you see here, purple, which is Donkey Lips, god dang it, is mounting this great offensive over here.
One of our fighting positions is sustaining fire.
Green is making a... Okay, so the Chinese guy is making a lot of these long range... Oh, I guess this got taken out. But he's making a lot of these, like, artillery, which I'm wondering if he's... Let's see. He might be using it to try to take out these, emplacements, which is actually something smart to do, because, again, artillery can fire such long range.
Just got a report of an infantry unit being wiped out.
Oh, God. I hope you shriek too. I hate when that happens. Where something company fears too, it just makes this loud sounds like a gunshot or something. It gets me every time. So I bring up paratroopers. I try to move up, try to take these spots, and luckily my ally brings up T-34s to help with the assist. So yay. Luckily our allies here is also stationed. Look at this. This is what I call a primary offensive. He has the Panzer from last time. He's rehealing all of his tanks and preparing this massive armored tank offensive of easy 8s. Again, like I said, these are all easy 8s, but yeah. And yeah, and with the T-34s already going up, they are going to be one large force to deal with. Oh, and look, there's an IS-2. So all that, no way 2 Panzers are going to be able to hold that back. And unfortunately for me, can't really deal with the 20 scout card just yet, although I am sending around these guys to go deal with it, and my paratroopers are back in base, over here healing, until I can get a really good concentrated army to counter. Now luckily he has the IS-2 and a flamethrower unit, plus a T-34, which is pretty much pushing them back. That thing does have good armor though.
Points are down to 300.
Now if we look here, they're sending this huge concentrated armor force, which is absolutely insane.
About time. Upgrade completed.
IS-2's taking a bit too much. Look at all that armor. It just owned that Panzer. And now that Panzer's like, oh, let me help, and then still making side swipes. Now he's helping take out, he has a Kerbal Wagon. This is like an armored column of death that's just going through. It's just owning everything in its way. But again, it's moving fast and owning. Because of that, on my side, I'm able to push up. He has this support gun or Kerbal Wagon or something. I'm using my Thompson to take that out. I have my mortar carriage firing at them. I have my Jackson moving up. No, it's just a normal Sherman. And then I have my Bazooka team healing. But yeah, he's just moving this thing around. their base and pretty much destroying their special half-track setups, which is fantastic because that's going to cut them off. So now that they're on patrol once again, they're just going to head this way. This one's already so close to dying, so yeah. They may have more coverage and they may have more stars now, but yellow's pretty much in their lines, destroying everything he possibly can that belongs to them.
Alright. Spread out. Stay ready.
And as you can see here, my mortar carriage, and this is something I should have done. Oh, yeah, maybe. Maybe I should have done this last game, but the mortar carriage is great because, as you can see here, it's taking out these mortar squads, which is exactly what I needed. Moving up more rifleman squads, and moving up my Sherman to help with the front lines. This guy is huge, like, armored force, like, tearing them a new one.
Rear echelon troops on the front line.
They're still pushing, don't get me wrong, but they don't really have the great armor force they once had. But anyway, as you can see here, these things, I can't equip a bazooka to them, I don't know why, because I know 4 of them have the Thompsons, but the other 2 do not. So, yeah. Because see, if you read here, it's like 4 Thompsons or 2 LMGs. So I don't know. Maybe it only takes up 66% of the squad. But anyway, I have my rifleman over here. I'm gonna grab a bazooka team because grab the munitions around. And if you're the the Overcommando West, melt them down for scavenge and grab yourself a really good tank. But anyway, this thing, luckily I'm in heavy cover, he's not. So even though Thompsons are meant for short or medium range, I'm still doing a lot better than he is. Because I'm in heavy cover. Now, as you can see here, they're moving a ton of AT, but, these things are mobile. That's the thing you have to remember. These things are mobile attack force. A lot of people forget that's why they're so good. They can just keep moving and firing. They have the stabilizers that allow that. There goes the Kerbal Wagon. But in any case, they have those stabilizers that allow that. But to just keep moving. Now, as you can see here, they put flares so they can see what I have. I put up this MG here. I'm gonna try. Will you put MG over here? If no, it probably died. But there's so many dead tanks over here. It's ridiculous. They have a ton of. They have these Oberstein coming in. I'm gonna move my Sherman to help counter. But anyway, luckily my force is large enough. Plus, again, this is Rocket. Rocket was probably our best spare. And just look at that awesome allied char. And all the teeth wars. This is absolutely insane. I don't care what kind of tank they have. They are done for. Because right now we have enough tanks that we can encircle like their biggest Yag Tiger or whatever they may have.
We're all done over here.
But unfortunately for us, they now have a lot of these long-range ATs, which isn't necessarily doing a lot, but because they have so many of them, they're now actually doing threats. So as you can see here, they are starting to take out the T-34s and the Sherman, so now we have to fall back. Again, it's a short-lived victory, because again, luckily this guy's artillery and whatnot can just keep pounding them. Over here, I wanted to capture this point, so again, this is where the paratroopers comes in. I can just simply call them in. Again, paratroopers can't really fire until they all land. They have to do a nice little cushion drop, and then they can take over. So I have my paratroopers take over this area, which is pretty awesome. So that way you don't have to run someone halfway across the battlefield. What does the enemy have? I'm actually curious. We're almost done with this game anyway. They have, okay, AT. He has a Puma. That's great. Donkey Lips has a Panther being made. So, yeah, that would definitely do some damage. And 28 beers later has a lot of AT forces and infantry. As you can see here, even with all that AT forces over here and this kind of cannon, it's still just not enough. I threw a grenade which took that out. Sucks for him. But as you can see here now, the paratroopers are moving up, and yeah, we're pretty much owning. Wow, that was a great hit.
Keep up the pressure. They're down to 100 points.
Now they're moving up on their one of the final half tracks of the mid. Now artillery has that thing loaded. So now this thing, like this long range artillery piece is just going like, let's see, let's try to take this thing out. They are pushing on my side, but as you can see here, this half track just doesn't stand a chance against me, because again, I have my normal Sherman. I took their rocket morpher, because like, why not? I also have a rocket launcher here, and I'm sorry, 2 bazookas, so, you know, decent amount of forces, and I see also a lot of tanks coming in. They also have their Panther coming in, which I wanted to call this strike on. Again, this will strike vehicles, it won't strike infantry, which I thought it would. Maybe they changed it, but in any case, I just called it over my area just in case they did charge me with a bunch of units. But yeah, that Panther, that thing would probably not stand a chance, because again, he has 5 tanks. And look, I has 2, and guess what? 1 Panther's not going to hold its own against all that. But yeah, again. Okay, so now they're doing this all-out charge, which is why I'm like, oh, I'll call the bazooka strike on it. Like my MG right here is keeping them pinned, which is actually holding them back. So yeah, they're moving up a lot of forces, but I'm still holding my own. So they have a lot of these flame guys coming through the middle, but they're getting pinned, and my riflemen and whatnot is holding it back. But again, as long as we can hold this point, that's all we need. And as you can see here, that Panther died, and now all their forces are moving up in the last remaining positions on Red over here, and Red pretty much had 1 team to defend himself, but not much else. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. Ooh. Whoa. Was that the Puma? I don't know, that looks kinda oof. Anyway. That was pretty much the end game, and also the IS-2 was coming into pretty much a wrecked shop over here, so what was left of their attack force would probably have been destroyed by that. But that gives you an insight on how to use this. I never brought up Pathfinders. They make it safer for paratroopers to come down. They activate these little antennae things, which is why I never called it a 50 cal. Again, the placements kind of I used it for, but again, the AT, paratroopers, the strikes, those are very helpful. And yeah, this is more of just like a more supportive role, because again, it's just like, oh, you need MG, here you go. Oh, you need AT, here you go. Oh, here, I'll do an attack behind their lines. Again, it's hitting them and providing support. It's not necessarily the German on the Oberkommando West where they get this big heavy tank. It's like, I will be the front line. This is like the pinpricks against the enemy that kind of like wear them down. But anyway, let me look at our score. Once again, I did pretty good. Again, did about average. Corkum, and deservedly so, got the most amount of points. He had the IS-2 and the KV-8 flamethrower, which is probably why he racked up so many points. My ally, the green ally, had about 23. He got most kills and least amount of deaths. I did get most kills, but again, if you look at that, we all got in with like 10 kills of each other, so it was pretty close overall, and I think we all did about the same. If we look on the enemy team, as we can see here, 28 beers later, again, great rip on a movie, but anyway, he got the most amount of points, but no, Donkey Lips got the most amount of kills, so, you know, still good overall on their team. And it looks like Shavinsky was the only person that did drop. He dropped about 2/3 the way through when, again, that large armor division moved through. So yeah, he was here most of the time. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you got some more in depth about the better detail about how to use the paratrooper, or sorry, the Airborne Commander of the American Forces, better than at least my previous video. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. See you next time. a lot of tanks, Katushkas, etc. But luckily, I'm using the heavy cover to pretty much hold my advance. I think Redman's calling it a strike. Yeah, he called the strike. Unfortunately, they called it Katushkas, which is hurting my searchlight, funny enough. And also that. I mean, look how many... Yeah, that was ridiculous. Katushka strikes. Maybe it was a Jackson. Was it Jackson? Maybe it was a Jackson. So, Katushka's